Initiating moisture.
Welcome to the Moist Meter. Today we're looking at the newest Conjuring movie, Annabelle Comes Home. Now, I didn't know this, but I just looked it up. Warner Bros. Was locked in a $900 million lawsuit with the person who originally wrote the stories that The Conjuring is based off of, and the only way Warner Bros. Was going to avoid paying $900 million to this guy for copyright shit was if they proved ghosts were real. And I didn't realize this, but they wrapped it up in 2017 at the end of it. And I had no fucking idea because I was waiting for this like super team power up, like Marvel Avengers in-game style, where they bring in Zack from Ghost Adventures, Zack Big Dick, the demonology guy with Ghost Adventures, and bring them all together to prove ghosts were real so they didn't have to pay nearly $1 billion. But it turns out they ended up settling out of court, which is the most underwhelming conclusion to a $900 million lawsuit where ghosts being proven real was on the line. It's just so fucking upsetting that I was really disappointed. This entire segment here is unrelated to Annabelle Comes Home because the movie doesn't talk about it, unfortunately. But I just thought that was so interesting because that lawsuit, I was really looking forward to seeing how they tackled the ghost thing, but they ended up not doing it. They didn't bring in Dib from Invader Zim or anything. They just settled it out of court, which is super fucking boring. That should be a crime in and of itself. Anyway, Annabelle Comes Home. It's not bad. I don't think there's really any bad movies in the Conjuring franchise except for The Nun. The Nun was just so fucking boring, but this isn't. This movie's good. I think the Conjuring movies are always just fun for the time you're watching them. Nothing special about them, nothing wildly creative, but executed decently enough. The characters in this movie I actually really liked. I thought Bob was a really strong character, Daniela as well. I thought the characters, because it wasn't focused on just like the main two Warrens, I actually thought the characters they had in here were really fun to watch with a good dynamic. And I also like the story where Daniela goes into the Warrens' house while the littlest girl is being babysat by her friend, and she starts touching shit and releasing all types of spirits, and then they have to battle all types of different spirits. It's like a Scooby-Doo episode in a certain sense, and it's fun. I like that plot line. But it's just so silly and nonsensical with these horror movies when you start to break them down, because at every step it seems like the demons and evil spirits want you to succeed. For example, in this movie, they're trying to get the Annabelle doll back in the case, and literally the entire movie is the demons leading them to the Annabelle doll and letting them take the Annabelle doll multiple times. For example, Mary Ellen, one of the main characters, comes face to face with a demon or with an evil spirit that's killed a bunch of people and wants to kill her. And she just gets the Annabelle doll from it and walks away. They just let that shit happen. They're much more invested in making loud noises occasionally than actually stopping them from being sealed again. I just don't really get that in horror movies. The Conjuring does this shit all the time. They have so many opportunities to just stop them or kill the people, and they just let them go. In this movie, it's just insane how many times that happens. A fucking demon comes face to face with the little girl and then just lets her leave. Literally like chokeholds her and then just lets her leave. It's just silly. It's just really dumb. I don't know why the demons are actively trying to get fucked. I don't really understand. They're not really there to preserve themselves. They're just there to make loud noises when it's quiet. And that's what this movie relies on, much like all the other Conjuring movies. It's not great at building tension, but it does try. There's also a really goofy samurai armor spirit, which is just really dumb. It's just more comical than scary. But again, the main focus is on jump scares, so when it gets quiet, something will fall over, make a loud noise, and you'll go, but even that's not super effective in this movie. They don't do it overly well. The guy next to me fell asleep like 2 or 3 times and was snoring, which was super fucking disruptive, and I hate that kind of behavior. If you're that goddamn tired, just leave. But I mean, it still illustrates that it wasn't great with its horror if you couldn't even keep the old man next to me from falling asleep and choking on his own spit. It wasn't a bad movie, though. Like I said, I did enjoy it, and I didn't regret my time with it. I do think when it did try and build tension, it didn't land most of the time, but when it did, I was satisfied with it. I also really like all of the different spirits and all of the different conduits for evil that were in there. I like that aspect. I thought that was well done. And yeah, it wasn't a horrible movie. It wasn't great. Just a pretty standard average horror movie for the modern age. Plugging this shit into the Moist Meter, I'm giving Annabelle Comes Home a crisp 50%. Beautifully average. Nothing great about it, nothing awful about it, nothing to really regret when seeing it. Kind of fun. That's about it. So yeah.